Have you ever seen a realtor actually selling you against buying a home? Check this out.
What is the steps that they need to take?
If you're listing a house for 600, 700,000, 800,000, a million, not only do you need a realtor who knows how to do marketing, but you need a realtor who knows a lot of people.
And when you're selling your home
true.
too, I mean, we are in a market right now that it is not the days of some realtor just got their license who takes a Polaroid, puts it up and sells the house.
A Polaroid.
Yeah, Polaroid. I'm going way back.
Going way back.
They're making a comeback, come on. But the reality is now, what are we having to do to get a client's home noticed? With the amount of inventory that's out there, we are having to spend 10 times more than we were before. And we were already outspending other realtors to try to make their house being seen on top, but it's a different market. So it's way more difficult to get in that world of 5,000 homes. Why is yours going to be in the first 2 or 3 top? Mm-hmm. So what are we doing differently right now to show that home too?
Yeah, well, I mean, it starts with marketing. So obviously, not taking your phone out and taking pictures yourself. Highly recommend making sure your realtor is not doing that. Hiring a professional, right? So we're professionals. Charles is a professional. Everybody has their niche. Everybody does their thing very well, hopefully. And you need to align yourself with that team. And so when you have great videographers, great content creators, media specialists, you are putting yourself at another level, which means that your client is going to be seen, their property is going to be seen at a higher level, right? So doing Matterport, doing 3D Matterport, doing Zillow tours. Sometimes people just try to take the cheap route and they just try to do things themselves. And again, nothing against anybody, but if you really want to be seen and you want your property exposed, it's a combination of things. It's pricing accordingly. That's huge. If you don't price accordingly, it can be the nicest property in the world. It will sit. We are not in that market like we were 3 or 4 years ago. But secondly, it's your marketing, right? And we market, because we're with Keller Williams, we have a broad network of people. So we're not just networking and marketing here internally, like our little spot of Lakeland. We belong to the Keller Luxury division. And so we have access to all the international KW luxury, because sometimes we have people that are maybe Canadian or, France, whatever.
Those Canadians got to watch,
They're the nice people. They're the nice ones. We want them to come.
Why is there no poutine here when we're eating? Come on.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, put that at the open house.
There you go. A lot of people. Poutine it up. Next open house
6
for sure.
offers. Like, oh, whoa, is that the poutine?
Free poutine.
We ate a lot of that just now when we were up in Canada.
Not
more than we needed to, which is like.
It's not good on the belly. Yeah.
Part of the
tastes good though.
The side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what we do different is that we are aggressive in a nice way. I think we're aggressive in making sure that the properties get seen. We're aggressive about making sure once it goes under contract. So when we put it under contract, we're really vetting that person who's bringing us an offer if it's not our buyer, to make sure that they're really qualified and that there's no surprises. Are they contingent upon another sale? Is there anything going on in their world that we may have to wait on? Because what we don't want to do is put our seller in a position to where we've asked them to relocate, box everything up, find their new home, or maybe put a deposit down on the next place. And then we have to call and say, oh, by the way, maybe their lender didn't do a great job of vetting and now they come up with a few hurdles. And so I think that's really what we do differently, is we just spend a lot more time diving in and making sure people are really qualified to buy the property besides the marketing piece. We also market a lot to other realtors. We're not saying that we're going to bring you the buyer. It's a good chance we may or may not bring you the buyer, especially with luxury properties, because it's a niche buyer for the bigger properties. And so we shoot out content to other realtors. We do a lot of blasts out. And again, with the luxury portal, we can get that exposure, because we may not bring you the buyer. But then again, we would love to.
You have to ask the right questions, because even on our open houses, someone's coming in to look at a house that we're selling for a client. But the buyer that walked in to see it, we're asking them questions because they may have a house to sell first. Can they move right away? Yeah. And how many times in the middle of an open house, we've actually said, call Charles, because before we can even help you buy this house, you may have 2 or 3 other things that have to be done before we can even talk about this thing.
Yeah.
And then we end up finding out, oh yeah, we need to do this. And now we've actually helped 2 clients at the same time because we asked questions that other realtors didn't ask. They were just there to show the house.
Yeah.
So it made 2 clients happy, and it was a win for everybody. But if we don't ask the right questions, we're going to get and find out that was not the right way to go.
And that's exactly right, because actually Cora, who I sent you the other day. I don't know if you talked
I
to
don't
her
think you
yet.
can say that online, but
It's just a first name. An example of not going deeper with your questions, and I'm sure you do the same when you're vetting your buyers as well, is that somebody that I do business with, right, in my world. So we kind of exchange services. She has a realtor, by the way. And she was telling me, like, I'm not really sure. The realtor keeps sending things to her, but she's not sure what that looks like. So I just finally said to her, so what is really the problem? Because I've been coming to you for 4 months, and this has been the conversation for 4 months. So where are you stuck? And she just said, I don't know what's next. I don't know where to start. And I just was kind of sitting there thinking, the realtor was so busy sending properties
because they didn't actually start
they
the process.
didn't ask the questions.
Yeah.
Her problem isn't that she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't know how to do it.
so great segue.
So
What is the steps that they need to take?
Yeah, I mean, first thing is obviously calling us. And going back real quick to what you were saying, like, I feel like the network, especially on the luxury side for properties on the higher price point, like, of course, a property listed at $225 is going to go like this because there's a lot of people in that price point. But if you're listing a house for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, $1 million, like, not only do you need a realtor who knows how to do marketing, but you need a realtor who knows a lot of people. Right? And not necessarily like just in Florida, like you were mentioning with the luxury network, it's such a big deal. Like having someone from Colorado who's selling their home, looking for a luxury home down here in Florida, like you need to have those connections. A guy from Canada who's an investor in tech who decides to buy down here close to Orlando. Like those connections don't make themselves. Like some of those guys are not on Zillow and they don't go on realtor.com. So you need someone who actually can connect the dots and make that connection and allow you to move forward with the property. And so it's easier to sell when you have the connections you guys have.
And Keller Williams is great too by putting us in a network where if you're in Colorado, we're licensed in Florida. So we can't sell out of the state of Florida or help, but we are so well connected in that network that we can go through and kind of say, that isn't the right guy for you, but here's 5 that's in a network in your area that's going to be help. You've connected a lot of people with people out of state and been like, use this guy, he's highly rated or girl, whatever.
And also people, like, we do a lot of conferences. So we, education for us is a big piece. So we have Mega Camp, we have Family Reunion, we had the Luxury Symposium, which is happening this fall. And so those are learning platforms that we go to stay ahead of the market, really learn what's coming, and tech. However, the flip side of that is building that network of referrals. And so, for example, as you were saying, a big luxury hub of people in Colorado, in Hawaii even, like there's all around these little pockets that we dive into. And when we see each other at the conferences and we're building really strong relationships, who do you think they're going to take care of? You don't think they're going to take care of your client like their own, because you now have, you're not just a referral via email. Here you go, I'll give you this referral. You're a person. You know how I do business. And I expect if I give this to you, this person who's in my circle, that you're going to treat them the same way. In turn, I will do the same for you. So it's not just the referral to referral, it's a relationship to relationship that we get to build by going to these conferences as well. So there's a lot of cost involved to stay, up to date on all of that, but it's worth it. And that's what ultimately how we try to set ourselves apart. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
It's just constant all the time.
Relationship. I haven't heard a lot of realtors talk that way. So
Yeah,
that's pretty incredible.
because it's
And
not
education.
about the transaction.
Education too.
This is not something where we took a test and it stays where it is. It is fluent. The economy, turn the news every day. The economy is changing, tariffs, all these things. We need to stay ahead of the game. So we are spending money to go to these big conferences where we have 300 people learning the statistics and learning the economy and learning where the market's going so that we can have those answers when that actually happens. Rather than waiting for a major website that you probably go to every day to go, oh, this just happened. Well, it's too late. Now you're already in it. You should have known before it was coming.
Yeah, then you become reactive instead of
instead of
proactive.
proactive.
So we want to be proactive. We don't want to be reactive, so that we already have, like you said, you call me with the resolution. We want to be, for our clients, we're coming to you with a resolution. By the way, these could be things that we're going to talk about now. They may not be a problem at all, but if you're really honest and transparent in the beginning of that transaction, then they're calmer. But I think the worst thing anybody can do is just like do the pop-up, and not really educate your people. For me, at least, it's never been about the transaction. Yeah, the transaction has to be done as well as it can be done. It's about the relationship that comes from the transaction, right? So, and I always tell you, I was like, well, these are good clients of mine. I worked with them several times. They've referred me a lot of people, but everybody is, to me, when we start working together, I treat them the same way. Like, this is our relationship we're building. And this is not meant to be just this transaction. It's meant to be our relationship over time, because your kids may grow up and need to buy or sell, or your friends. Or oftentimes my phone is ringing for like, who's a good plumber? Who's a good best person to build on this extension? And we offer all these services because we want, and we update those lists every year, because sometimes people we refer, we want to make sure they're doing as good of a job as we thought they did.
Yeah.
So
it's actually on our website now. We now have a link on our website that will give you all these great referral companies based on one thing. They've all been referred to us by somebody who has personally used them, if not ourselves, that have said, use these. We can go online and look at great restaurants, but when you have a friend that went, you got to go here. You already know you're going to a place that's going to be fantastic. So we're redesigning that entire thing right now, and we have a ton of information that came in, and it's great because now I can say, oh, you're looking for a roofer, you're looking for this, you're looking for a lender. We know someone who's going to take really good care of those people. So it's important to be networked and know these people and have people that actually vouched for them.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for like detail, right? Detail. I think if everybody is doing their part extremely well, then it all becomes easy. But I think while ever we're working with mismatched people, everything
details
is
get missed.
hard. Details get mixed, miscommunication. So I'm a big advocate of find your people. Your people will also find you. And do right by them, do right by the client, and it all works out.
And there's a lot of major websites out there that have great tools and great information. I mean, you got Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com and Homes.com. They give you all this information, how much this and how your rates and all this stuff. But the reality is there's not usually a person directly behind that website that's talking to you to find out what your specific individual situation is. And all those websites are also making their money off of ads. They're making money off you going there. So these headlines and these click here to find out stuff usually is not 100% accurate. It's in the ballpark in some cases, but the reality is they want you to stay there so they can make money. I mean, a friend of mine is from a news station and he goes nuts about how much misinformation there is on the local hurricane coming. Like, it's not even in 90%, it's about staying tuned and clicking those things so they can make money. And he's actually just the opposite. He's like, no, it's not even coming close to Florida.
So we call him.
Yeah, we call him.
Justino,
literally. I'm like, literally, I call him Bay News 9. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, no, you're fine.
Or pack up, go.
Yeah, and it's really scary not to have somebody, and I guess with the group that we surround ourselves with, including the people in this room right now, we're all family people. We all have kids. We are not run by some multi-billion-dollar corporation that are pulling the strings going, don't do that, don't give them that information. We're here to help people, and because we were all consumers before this.
Well, we still are.
We are, yeah, we still are.
We still are. And,
So,
and we appreciate sometimes, even I'm sure you've happened to you, you've gone through a drive-through, get a cup of coffee or Starbucks or whatever, and there's like somebody exceptional at the window. And sometimes I'll turn to him and be like, wow, she was amazing. Yeah. And all she really did was give me my coffee, but she was very nice. She was very polite. She was very pleasant.
She asked if we needed anything else. Like,
you went into details.
And it wasn't like,
right?
Here's your coffee. See you later. It was like pleasant. It was a nice experience. And so that, I think we seek that out in businesses, right? Which is why, again, and I know you do, right? You and your team, you strive to do all of those things we've just been talking about. So I guess the top and bottom of this is like, if you're not sure what to do, you don't know where to start, Charles is your guy.
Yeah.
Personal connections.
Give us a call. We're happy to connect you. It may not even be a today plan, but if it's on your plan, if it's in your radar and it's something you want to make happen, then we have to start with a conversation. That's number one. It's a conversation. We need to understand where you're at so we know where to meet you, and then where you want to go so we know how to help you. This
channel is not sponsored by anybody. We're sponsored ourselves. So do us a favor and please hit like on this video and subscribe so we can keep you updated as the laws change, as the rates change, and give you better advice on your future purchases.